Welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson continues his vacation odyssey. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Today is Monday, January 26. We are here with all the news you need to start your week. Here's some of the top stories we're looking into. A teen driver is accused of leading East Wenatchee police on a merry chase, one that ended with a wrecked Camaro, but no injuries. And a veteran climber who spent decades helping other recreationists who became trapped in the wilderness has passed on. He's being remembered today by his fellow mountaineers and first responders. We got a whole 5 degrees warmer today than we did on Sunday, so winter's over, right? Amateur meteorologist Dan Kuntz has many fine charts and graphs he wants to share with you. He'll be along a little bit later in this half hour. But first, our top story tonight. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say they apprehended a suspect Friday night in a shooting that left one man wounded in downtown Chelan. The incident happened at 11:54 p.m. in the 100 block of East Woodin Avenue, the heart of the city's business and dining district. Deputies say they found a 22-year-old male on the sidewalk suffering from a gunshot wound, and witnesses reported seeing several people fleeing the area on foot. The victim was treated by EMTs and taken to Lake Chelan Health, where he was reportedly in stable condition. Deputies arrested 18-year-old Hector Valencia Farias after allegedly finding an ammunition magazine he was carrying and 2 discarded handguns nearby. He remained jailed today on suspicion of first-degree assault and unlawful firearm possession. The shooting is still under investigation. East Wenatchee police say a teen driver led them on a high-speed pursuit early Saturday morning, endangering bystanders and eventually crashing in the 800 block of Valley Mall Parkway. Chief Rick Johnson says the pursuit started about 2 a.m. when a patrol officer tried to stop the Chevy Camaro near Valley Mall and 3rd Street Northeast. The juvenile driver allegedly sped away at up to 70 miles an hour, heading north on Valley Mall Parkway toward the busy tavern area where patrons were standing on the sidewalks. Police terminated their chase but caught the driver after the Camaro ran into a median and broke its own front axle. The 16-year-old accused in the case was booked into the Chelan County Juvenile Center on suspicion of DUI, fleeing police, and reckless endangerment. 2 other juveniles were passengers in the car. No one was hurt in the incident. A national climbing advocacy organization will help staff the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest beginning this spring to relieve some pressure caused by federal funding cuts. Access Fund, a nonprofit out of Boulder, Colorado, will expand its Climber Steward program by providing 2 seasonal field staff at popular climbing areas in the Methow Valley and Wenatchee River Ranger districts. The staff members will split their time between the 2 districts, which include Mazama, Washington Pass, the Enchantments, and Icicle Creek. The stewards will be stationed at key locations to host coffee chats, educate climbers on best practices, and conduct monitoring to help inform land management decisions. The program will launch in April and run through October. A hero of Chelan County's mountaineering and backcountry rescue community has died. Jeff Patton of Kashmir suffered a health emergency last week while visiting British Columbia on a climbing expedition. His death was not climbing related, but the orchardist and veteran climber was a key part of Chelan County Mountain Rescue, the all-volunteer team that helps extricate lost and injured travelers from remote areas. He had worked with the group practically since its founding, participating in rescues both as a climbing team member and later as the group's communications manager. In 2012, he was part of a group of climbers who challenged multiple peaks in the Himalayas. Jeff Patton was 69 years old. When we come back, Governor Bob Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown have fighting words for the Trump administration should they try an immigration enforcement action in Washington along the lines of Minneapolis. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Governor Bob Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown condemned ICE activity in Minnesota earlier today and said that they are prepared to fight the Trump administration should immigration enforcement escalate in Washington. This morning's press conference follows the death of 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse shot and killed by ICE in Minneapolis on Saturday.
ICE is, to be blunt, completely and totally out of control. To say that I'm angry is not the right word. I don't have the right word for how I feel about it, or I'm sure how Attorney General Brown feels about it, or how people all across our country feel about it. It's outrageous in the extreme, and it has to stop. As angry as we both are, we are focused on preparing to the fullest extent possible for a similar escalation by ICE against our will here in Washington State. Before I outline our preparations, I want to make two important points directly to the people of Washington State. First, Attorney General Brown and I cannot stop ICE from being in our state. We don't have that power. No governor has that power, and no Attorney General has that power. On the other hand, we are not passive bystanders to what is happening, and we are prepared to use every tool at our disposal to mitigate against the harms inflicted by ICE.
Ferguson outlined a 5-point plan which includes a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, presence of a state immigration chief at cabinet meetings, and a meeting with National Guard Major General Gent Welsh. A winter rock slide closed a portion of Highway 155 in Grant County on Saturday, cutting off access to Steamboat Rock State Park for westbound travelers. A huge chunk of basalt from the overhead cliffs rolled into the westbound lane about 2 a.m. and damaged the highway shoulder. The slide kept the highway closed until about 6 p.m. Sunday after DOT crews were able to blast the boulder into debris and scoop it away. The cleanup and repair effort continued into today. The severe weather from Winter Storm Fern may not have reached Washington, but it had a major effect on passenger trains through the region. The snow and deep cold disrupted travel in the north and east and caused severe power outages in the south. Amtrak's Empire Builder, which travels daily between Chicago and Seattle, with stops including Wenatchee's Columbia Station, was canceled from last Wednesday through Saturday thanks to concerns over cold weather stress on tracks and equipment in the Midwest. Those cancellations extended into today. Amtrak says right now the Empire Builder is scheduled to get back on schedule starting Tuesday. The 4-day route between the two hub cities carries nearly 340,000 passengers each year. The Washington State Patrol is warning motorists to follow the official detour route for the Hanson Road overpass on I-90 after receiving reports of drivers making U-turns in emergency vehicle turnouts. The City of Moses Lake says the bridge over I-90 was closed on January 17th after a scheduled inspection determined the structure has significant deterioration. A detour route is in place, and the State Patrol says the emergency vehicle turnouts are specifically designated for use by emergency vehicles and other authorized vehicles only. Under state law, motorists using emergency turnouts or other sections of the median on a divided highway can be fined $437. The city said it will hear a timeline for repair from the Washington State Department of Transportation tomorrow, but it's not currently known how long the detours will remain in place. Well, coming up next, meet the new boss. It's some in-house news here at NCWLIFE as Rick Boon arrives to lead our journalistic efforts, both on this station and at the Wenatchee World. And Dan Kuntz may say he's a meteorologist, but I happen to know he does not own any meteors, so we asked him to stick to the weather instead. And Eric Granstrom is back as an in-the-stadium eyewitness to the Seahawks' big playoff victory. Can we send him along to the Super Bowl too? Well, we'll see. NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. It's been about 15 months since WIC Communications, the owner of the Wenatchee World newspaper, acquired NCWLIFE TV. Since then, there's been a process of trying to unify the two news organizations into one. Rick Boon is a news executive who's worked in several markets around the country, and as of January 20th, he is news director for both NCWLIFE and the Wenatchee World. I spoke with Rick about his career in TV journalism and what he has in store for the news business in the Wenatchee Valley.
I've been a reporter, I've been an anchor, small markets, medium markets, major markets. I've been a news director for several years in multiple stations. And I tell you, every adventure is always a new adventure for me. And this is the beginning of one that I'm so looking forward to. And I'll tell you why, because I love small communities. And the reason why? Because you get to the heart of every story. And journalism really means a lot in smaller communities because everything means a lot to folks who have chosen to be in such great locations like this. In a bigger city, people tend to not hone in on journalism or understand the purpose of what a TV station or a newspaper can do for you. But in a smaller community, they get it and they understand it tremendously.
Where got you into journalism? Why did you want to join the news profession?
Fun story, Jefferson, fun story. I was 5 years old. I grew up in the DC area and I was sitting and watching TV with my mother, and we were watching WUSA. Actually, it was WDVM, Channel 9 at that time in Washington, D.C., and it was Maureen Bunyan and Gordon Peterson. They were anchoring the news, and I said to her, I want to do that. She says, what do you want to fix TVs? What? I'm like, no, I want to, whatever they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. I'm 5. I want to do that. And she says, okay. And it was like, from that point on, I have no idea how it jumped in my brain. I have no idea how I got the thought, but it hit me and I stuck with it and I never diverted.
Well, you've joined us as news director for these two fairly different news organizations. We deliver news. We both are in the information business.
Yeah.
We deliver it by a different media. When you came onto this role, how's the job described to you? What's your task here?
Well, the task is fun and challenging. The task is when you have television and print, two things that unfortunately a lot of audiences are drifting away from because there's so many different, so much different competition out there. Unfortunately, it's not the days where the 1950s or 60s where you had maybe 2 or 3 networks and you could get away with basically everyone watching those particular things or reading those particular newspapers because that's all they have. Right now, we got a lot of competition. So one of the challenges that I had is trying to find a way to bring people to the mediums that they know so well, television and print, but also how we can branch those out and get those on other platforms that can drive them back to the original platforms. We're talking social media, we're talking about our digital output as well. So that was a way to be a multi-platform newsroom. We can integrate our TV station, NCWLIFE, and also Wenatchee World and our other print properties all together where they can support each other. Either reporters for print can help out television, television can help out print, and we can also expand it on the digital and social aspect because we want to be where the viewers are.
Do you have an approach that has worked for you that you recommend to other journalists?
One of the things that I always looked at when approaching a story is one very core thing. What's important to the person I'm doing this for versus just doing a story with a mouthpiece, let's say serving the purpose of being a voice for, let's say, an elected official or someone of significance, is keeping that story the way it should be for the people. That's what journalism is all about. And if a story impacts somebody, I think those are the rich stories versus a story that comes from, which a lot of folks may know, but we call it in the business press releases or from a PIO, a public information officer, and telling their story, which is okay, but it's also about telling that mom's story that has gone through some difficulty out there, or that businessman who lost his business because of some particular tax issues or whatever it may be, telling their stories, or if they have problems, calling us to solve those issues in their lives. So telling stories from a people point of view for the people that we serve has been my philosophy, and it works so well because people, viewers, are smart, much times smarter than us. If they know that you only go to communities when there's a shooting and you want to get these horrible sound bites and walk out of there, they're not going to feel respected. But if you put yourself in the communities that you serve on an ongoing basis, get to know the folks all the time, so no matter if it's something good or bad, they know who you are. So I think if you always have that approach, caring about the people we serve, that's the number one thing, and it's worked for me every single time. No matter what market I've ever been a reporter in, just coming to someone without the camera and saying, "How you doing? My name is Rick. What's going on? What do you do?" Asking them about their lives. What's important to them? What frustrates them? How can I help? And it seems to be something successful, and I love it.
Happy Monday, everybody. Dan Kuntz once again filling in for Grant Olson on this Monday. Beautiful shot from our Billy Goat camera. We were looking at this camera earlier today because we had a report of a Bigfoot sighting up there near Billy Goat. Turns out it was just Greg Allman on a camping trip. Our bad. Beautiful day today. It turned out really nice, although it was pretty darn chilly this morning. We did have that nice afternoon sunshine. Not going to be the case, unfortunately, on Wednesday. 34, our unofficial high up at Pangborn Memorial Airport. Yeah, it was chilly. We got down there into the teens for the overnight low, but keep in mind, it's downright balmy compared to the upper Midwest and the Ohio River Valley, where they're going to see overnight lows below zero for a long period of time, and the days are getting longer, another 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so longer than Sunday was. So all in all, next couple of days is going to be pretty quiet. Things will get active, though, by the time we get to Wednesday. 39 in Moses Lake, 38 in Ephrata. You're going to be a little bit warmer than us here in the Wenatchee Valley. Poor Ellensburg can't catch a break. You're going to be the coolest of all of our locations in our viewing area. It'll take a little while for Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee to get going, but they will get going. The one thing that everybody's going to see tomorrow is cloud cover. We had the sunshine today, especially in the afternoon hours. And the sun's going to be taking tomorrow off. And the bizarre thing is the weather maker that's coming our way on Wednesday is an old one that's coming back. You can see all the moisture. That's going to come up and pay us a visit. Not a big tropical, one of those Pineapple Express kind of things that we had in mid-December. That's not going to be the case. But that big ridge of high pressure that gave us all that overcast and gray skies with the air inversion, it went way out over the Pacific Ocean, and now it's turning around and coming right back to pay us a visit. Apparently it likes it around here, which is why we're going to start seeing temperatures climb and the chance of precipitation grow. I wish I could tell you the passes are going to get some snow. The mountains need it. The snowpack is way down. That's not going to be the case. We're going to see unsettled conditions and warm temperatures. A good chance of rain. The best chance of measurable precipitation starts Wednesday night. The snow level is going to get down there, but not a lot of precipitation is expected. Maybe a light wintry mix in like the Leavenworth area. And then we're just talking rain, and look how mild we're going to get. We're going to be very warm for this time of the year anyway. On Thursday, on Friday, Saturday, hit and miss rain and a high of 45. And here we are in January. Does this pattern sound familiar? Kind of like November and December. And we're going to see possible rain and highs in the upper 40s by the time we get to Sunday. Each of these days, we're going to have about a 50 to 60% chance of rain. We're going to have about a 30% chance of rain Tuesday night, tomorrow night, into Wednesday. That would be a rain-snow mix, and it won't last very long because you can see things are going to heat up pretty good. Once we're done with the day today, we'll top off at 34, 24 for the overnight low tonight with increasing clouds. Clouds all day on Tuesday, but since we're going to have a warmer start on Tuesday morning, we're going to warm up a little bit by Tuesday afternoon. Things start getting a little unsettled on Wednesday. Wednesday is really the transition day, and then up comes the warm air from the southwest, and we're going to see rain in the valley and light snow, not heavy snow, just light snow in the mountain passes. That starts Thursday into Friday, into Saturday, and right on into Sunday. We had a little cold snap. That comes to an end once we get to the middle of the week. Apparently there was an important football game played in Seattle yesterday. I don't have the details, but Eric Grandstrom does, and he's next with sports. You're watching a Monday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Well, a happy Monday to you. The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. Seattle outlasted the LA Rams Sunday 31-27 to win the NFC Championship at Lumen Field in front of 72,000 rabid fans. Sam Darnold was masterful, passing for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns to lead the Seahawks back to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in franchise history.
It is an honor for me to present the George Hollis Trophy to Seahawks chair Jody Allen, GM John Snyder, head coach Mike McDonald, and NFC champion Seattle Seahawks.
Hey Cam, you got one more duty. Give that trophy to Jody Allen. And Jody, come on over here with me for a second. Congratulations, first of all. This is your team's 4th trip to the Super Bowl. How did it feel for you to win this in front of the 12?
Look, I'm incredibly proud to be standing here today and accepting this on behalf of all the 12s here, all the 12s across the country, and all the 12s across the globe.
Well, congratulations. And we know they're going to follow you to the Super Bowl in San Fran. And let us get Coach over here. Coach McDonald, Mike McDonald, come on over here, Coach. They love you, Coach. They love you. Now you congratulate 2 years as head coach, and you're playing for the Lombardi. How does that feel?
I'm speechless. I'll tell you what. This is the power of 12 as one, man. This is a heck of a job. When you do it together, this is what you can do. How about the 12s?
Jackson Smith and Jigba had 10 catches for 153 yards, a touchdown, while Cooper Kupp caught 4 passes for 36 yards and a score. Kenneth Walker III combined for 111 yards rushing and passing, or rushing and receiving, I should say, to go along with a touchdown on the ground. Next up for the Seahawks is a trip to Santa Clara to play in Super Bowl 60 in a couple of Sundays. Now, Seattle gets a rematch against the New England Patriots. I remember that back on Super Bowl 49 when the Seahawks infamously decided not to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the goal line. Oh, I'm getting a little excited here. New England won the AFC Championship Sunday with a 10-7 win over Denver in a snow globe. Super Bowl 60 will kick off at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. That's on February 8th. That starts at 3:30. It'll be on NBC. Well, it was a good Sunday all around in Seattle sports. The Seahawks won the NFC Championship while the Seattle Kraken beat the New Jersey Devils 4-2 in NHL play. Riker Evans, Matty Beniers, Berkeley Catton, and Jordan Eberle found the back of the nets, while Joey Decord stopped 27 of 29 shots. Seattle will host Washington tomorrow at 7 o'clock. That'll be on Prime Video and Con TV. And the good vibes continued in Seattle, also on the hardwoods yesterday. Washington finished up the weekend in men's college basketball with a 72-67 win over the Oregon Ducks. The day before saw Eastern Washington knock off Sacramento State. Washington State pummeled Pepperdine. 8th-ranked Gonzaga fought off San Francisco in the kennel 68-66. In women's college basketball Saturday, Eastern Washington fell to Sacramento State 61-54, and that's Northwest Sports. We'll get to local sports. The Wenatchee Wild dropped a pair of Western Hockey League games over the weekend. Kamloops blasted Wenatchee Friday night in the Wolves' Den 7-2. The Wild tried to bounce back Saturday, but Tri-City came out in overtime with a 4-3 victory. Wenatchee's back on the home ice Wednesday against the Brandon Wheat Kings. That's a 6 o'clock game. Austin Droughty will join Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow morning to recap the weekend and get a preview of what's coming up in a quick turnaround on Wednesday. Wenatchee boys gave Davis a scare Friday nights, but the Pirates prevailed in prep boys basketball. Visitors from the Yakima Valley came out on top 65-53 after the Panthers closed the gap to 2 points in the fourth quarter. Another action Friday, Eisenhower edged Eastmont 68-65, Sunnyside down Moses Lake 73-68. Quincy won the Battle of the Basin 72-39 over Ephrata. Cashmere edged College Place 55-37. Cascade beat Garden City Academy. Bridgeport bettered Brewster by 9. Tenasket topped Lake Roosevelt 70-52. Okanagan down Liberty Bell 73-59. Waterville Mansfield got by Pateras, and Wilson Creek down to Odessa 61-47. Davis girls were running and gunning from the get-go over Wenatchee 77-13 Friday. Eisenhower edged Eastmont 47-34. Sunnyside beat Moses Lake 53-36. Cashmere topped College Place. Brewster beat up Bridgeport. Lake Roosevelt topped Tenasket. Okanagan down Liberty Bell. Elmira Cooley Heartline no trouble with Oroville, winning at 58-8. Wilson Creek topped Odessa, and Waterville Mansfield beat Pateras 55-37. Saturday, Moses Lake beat Wenatchee. West Valley breezed by Eastmont. Sealis stopped Ephrata. Cashmere clipped Kiona Benton. Sultan edged Cascade. Chelan beat Liberty Bell. Brewster dumped Davenport. Wilbur Creston Keller topped Waterville Mansfield. It was Oroville over Soap Lake. Wilson Creek edged Thorpe 52-47. Wenatchee girls won their first Big Nine game of the year on Saturday, downing Moses Lake 65-58. Eastmont edged West Valley by 2. Sela beat up Ephrata. It was Cashmere downing Kai B. Cascade beat Sultan. Chelan clocked Liberty Bell. Manson edged Entiat. Davenport down Brewster. And Waterville Mansfield ran by Lake Roosevelt. So Lake down Oroville 47-27. We'll bring you Big Nine Wrestling Thursday night here on the NCWLIFE channel's Facebook page. Tune in as Wenatchee hosts Eastmont. Girls at 6, the boys at 7. I'll be Matt Side with your play-by-play on that one. And then Grant Olson back on Friday will bring you live coverage of Big Nine basketball between Davis and Eastmont. Girls tip at 5:30. That's on a Facebook stream. Boys on TV and the stream starting at 7 o'clock. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Monday.
And that will do it for Monday's edition of NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, we do want to hear from you. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call, 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You remember that Amtrak trouble I mentioned earlier? Well, that means Grant Olson won't be able to rejoin us tomorrow night. He's getting some extended family time in Montana. So I'll see you back here at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. Have a great night.